Greetings and salutations. Welcome back, friends. This is the Vital Check with your friendly neighborhood MD, Dr. Joe, alongside
me, DJ Critical. What's up?
What's up, guys and gals? Thank you for tuning in and for listening to our podcast. We are very excited to have another episode to share with you.
Big facts.
Since the premiere,
since our debut. Yep, big debut.
Big debut. My head's gassed, right? You guys are gaslighting us. We have great news. We've had 1,100 streams.
1,100 downloads.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what, the streams is high. The downloads is high for a debut. We just put it out there a little. Let's see what'll happen. And we were very surprised by the outpour of support and everybody that hit us up like, oh snap, y'all doing a podcast? And I was like, yeah. And then it's like, finally. And then so yeah, we had a lot of downloads, a lot of feedback, a lot of comments, which I can continue to leave feedback and comments, and we'll improve and get better and
absolutely.
Implement,
of course,
as we go on. But yeah, we're pretty gassed.
And and we're global.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's going to be our humble brag. So every episode, we are trying to uplift our listeners, especially during these times where things seem a little dark. We want to elevate you, right? Let's celebrate your wins, because your wins are our wins.
Facts.
So to start off the first humble brag session, we are going to brag about ourselves.
Yeah, a little dust off the shoulder.
A little bit. So we were listened to in Brussels, Belgium, Mozambique,
Africa,
Fayetteville, North Carolina,
NC.
Maybe J. Cole was visiting the fam or something.
Maybe J. Cole was listening on a little tour spot. Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
We got Middle America, Kansas,
KC.
We got the West Coast. We were up and down the coast of
LA.
Oregon, Washington State.
Bam.
We
was all over. We was all over the country.
Yeah.
All over the world.
That's right. So, continue. Thank you. So,
a lot of y'all podcasters can't do that, out the gate, just reaching over waters, over international seas and stuff. We usually in places that we can't even really speak about right now because they over there doing some wild stuff. But we over there too. While they was doing their wild stuff, they was listening to us in the tanks. But it's cool.
Oh boy. So yeah. So all that to say, we appreciate you.
Thank you.
We are listening to you. So any feedback, comments, subscribe, and do all the above.
Share.
Let us know how we can improve.
Share.
Because we are literally a work in progress.
Your mom, your dad, your granny, your grandpa, niece, nephews, uncles, aunts, cousins, stepsisters.
The whole fam.
Everybody. Friends.
Everybody.
Enemies. Send it to your enemy. Send it to everybody.
We gotta love our enemies like ourselves, right?
Absolutely. No, not really. I don't love my enemies like anything, but.
So, are any of your exes your enemies?
Exes, enemies. No, they're not enemies. I just don't really care for them. But I wouldn't say they're enemies. I don't have any enemies. It's just people that I don't care for anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in our next segment, we're gonna talk about your hotels, right? So this is going to be called Critically Single.
Critically Single.
Ever since I've known Jason, I just can't keep up with his lady friends. So, and I've been married or together with my husband since high school. So it's kind of not living vicariously, but
it's a different, it's a different dynamic. It's a different way of life. So how long have you been with your husband altogether? Since high school.
So since high school, oh my gosh, guys, and my simple math skills are terrible. 17 years.
And married how long?
6 years almost.
That's a long ass time.
It is a very long. Actually, our dating anniversary is up and coming.
17 years. What I was doing 17 years ago.
Hashtag March Madness.
That's 17 years ago. Well, that was since freshman year of high school?
Oh no, I paid him no mind freshman year.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yes, no, this was a senior year.
Oh, that was 06.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right? 06? 22? Sorry, 16 years, not 17 years.
Okay. 16.
Yeah.
So what were you doing the first 3 years?
I wouldn't call myself a thought because I didn't.
You were dating?
I was a chronic dater.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
Oh, yes. I kept my stuff on the low.
Oh, so it wasn't people in school. You was dating people in school?
Oh, yes, I was.
I have, this is enough about my hotels. Like, so these people I know that you dated in the school?
Some. I don't think you knew many.
Manny. It sounds familiar.
No, Manny, M-A-N-Y.
Oh, Manny. Oh, I thought it was like Manny. I was like,
no. It's funny, but it's, yeah.
Wait, all right. So how many of them did you date in this 3 years? Like, being at a chronic dater.
And you know, the weird thing is, and by the grace of God, I made it out alive. Like, this is when
everybody was friends?
No, this is the advent of Skonex and like Facebook and stuff. So
I loved Skonex.
I even met like people online
as
a teenager.
That's crazy because before I went to college, as I was entering college, there was a few people that I met on Skonex, and we realized that we was going to the same college, and we linked up in college and had a great time.
Oh, very nice.
I'm still cool with them till this day. But so the 3 years. So what's a chronic dater? Is like multiple people, or you was like
no. It was just like serial dating.
Oh, serial. Okay.
Yes. Sorry.
Okay.
So I was in a relationship and out of a relationship. The problem was, I think I wasn't a thotty, right? I wasn't giving it up.
Oh,
so I feel like it was.
I mean, it's
not to say that if you give it up, you're a thotty.
Yeah, but if you give it up, you're not a thotty.
No,
you know what?
Correction. I
give
stand
it all
corrected.
Up. Oh, if you want to give it, and somebody is taking and willing, fine. It's mutual. Don't just just hand it out. That's the difference. Don't just spread it out.
It's kind of is this touching on the locky that we spoke about last time?
No, I mean men or female.
Okay.
It's not gender specific. Like men are thoughts too. Probably more thoughts than women, but it's equal playing field.
Oh, okay, got it. So I think because
you weren't engaging in the extra physical aspect.
Right.
That
it was like, all right, bye, Felicia. I mean, maybe I was a psycho. Who knows? But they were short-lived relationships. But
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't. The relationship aspect never really. It was more like just flings and situationships. I only had like two like legit like relationship that was like called a relationship. Like if I was walking down the hall or somebody was, oh, you're such and such girlfriend or boyfriend. I'm like, oh yeah. Everything else is just like, you just look up and keep it moving. Like you don't really know. It's really ambiguous.
Got it.
I'm big on ambiguity. Ambiguity?
I don't know if it's ambiguous.
Whatever.
I think
mystique. That's what I'm big on. Mysterious, mystique, Batman, that sort of stuff.
Got it.
I'm like
stealth.
Batman. Stealth. Mm-hmm. Yeah, very stealthy.
Got it.
So anyway, me and my hotels currently hotels. We only say hotels because of Jasmine Sullivan. I love Jasmine Sullivan, and she had an album called Hotels. But it's not really. You're not really a hoe if I'm mentioning you. All right. So it's
disclaimer. Let's make that very clear.
No one that I deal with are hoes. It's just a segment. It's just entertainment. Relax.
Critically single.
Yes. So, so my birthday was a while ago, last month. Yeah, a while ago. And someone that I was dating did a really nice gesture that I appreciate 1,000 times over. So she got me tickets to see MJ the musical. Which was interesting because I've never been to a Broadway show.
Which is, to me, that's insane.
Yeah, my dating just...
Broadway is like your backyard.
Yeah, I was dating somebody previously that always went to Broadway shows, but we just never got around to it. I just bought her tickets, but I didn't go with her. I was like, yo, take your mom, take your friend, whatever. But this person bought me tickets to the show, and it was my first, so she popped my cherry. And it was MJ. Like I seen it. Like the way the world and the internet works is like if you like something, they throw more of that in your face. So I used to just I follow a bunch of Michael Jackson pages. So MJ the musical was down my timeline like before it came out, and I seen it and I just kept it moving. I was like, okay, this is cool. Like whatever. I never thought of I should go see it. But yeah, so she surprised me. She got me a Michael Jackson sweater.
What?
She got me the sweater that
You got merch at the Broadway Theater?
No, she actually got me merch before.
Oh, she got money.
She does, but she don't like to talk about it. But anyway,
okay.
So she got me a sweater to wear to the to the show.
You gotta love a well thought out date.
I do, cause you know what it is. I'm usually that person. So to have that done to me, catered to, is like, oh, this is how it feels. Like I'm good.
Got it.
I'm good. But anyway, so yeah, so we went. We had an amazing time. The show was amazing. Like I might see it again. Like
okay, I'm down to go.
That's how good it was.
On a friend date.
Yeah, absolutely. We can take your husband too. So yes, it was refreshing and different, and it was a good feeling, having somebody doing something thoughtful. Because I'm usually on the giving end, not really on the receiving end of my thoughtfulness, which is cool. Like I don't do it for it to be reciprocated, but when it is, it's like, oh wow,
it's nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
This week was the drop of the 3rd episode of the trilogy of Genius. I've had multiple conversations about Kanye before.
But all right, so this was the 3rd one. But how did you feel about the first 2?
So for those of you, I mean, it's in my name, I guess. So I am a medical professional.
You are, and I'm a DJ. If you don't know, obviously.
Just in case. Yeah. And to me, like once you get that training, it's kind of hard to unsee the world in a medical aspect.
Okay.
So as soon as I saw the first 2 episodes, right, all I can say is like, wow, this guy is manic, right? Like his brilliance is in his psychosis.
That's super interesting, because being that I am a DJ, obviously, and I see the world through like industry stuff and music standards and like how it is to be a musician and in a more of a creative side. I think I received the episodes and just him differently than the health terms. Like, I'm just like, yo, I see why I get him. Why he acts this way, more so like, all right, maybe he does have a illness or an issue. I don't know if it's really an illness, but
no, it is. He's bipolar.
Oh, but I just look at it as like he's a genius, and the way he acts, probably most of the time, is like it's over the top, but I can see where it's rooted from.
And the thing is also, like, I think his mom was an enabler of the...
Yeah, she instilled certain things in him.
Right,
and
confidence is what he calls it.
Yes.
He's like, what? And then the 3rd episode, he talks about, his confidence.
What's wrong with being overconfident? Like, that should be a
bad word.
That stuck with me, too, because he was speaking to children.
Right.
So I feel like at that point, he also said that the way he looked up to, what was it, Michael Jackson?
Michael Jordan.
Michael
Jordan is Michael Jordan's what he said. Oh no!
No, he said Michael Jackson. He said the way he looks up to Michael Jackson, kids look up to him.
Yes, he
that way. So it's like by him instilling that, don't be afraid of like, speaking your mind, or if something may rub people the wrong way. Another thing he said that was interesting. He said he may not say things the correct way or perfect, but he's always gonna like say what he feels.
Right.
And I feel like that dynamic, I get him, because a lot of times people, they feel slighted or they don't say what's on their mind, and then that will lead them to not get certain opportunities or open certain doors, where if they was a little bit more assertive or confident, if we want to use the word confident, or sure of themselves, then they would have probably like, reached certain plateaus. When if they was like, oh, is this really good? I don't know, like.
But I think, something that comes a lot, and I'm really into like health inequities and racial justice. But what's coming out a lot is, right, intent versus impact, right? So your intent refers to what you thought you were doing. Mm-hmm. And the impact refers to how that action was perceived by the person receiving
it. Correct.
So I think, yes, you can be confident and you can, express yourself as raw as possible. But what's the other end of that? Right? And an example that's
But is that really, that's not your fault though.
but then you should know who your audience is,
I mean,
right?
but if you have a wide audience of all demographics and ages, then I think it's hard at that point to be specific to like not really walk on eggshells, but to like think about your audience in totality in a full, where it's just so broad. Like at no point, no one is gonna be like happy. Like there's somebody that's gonna be offended,
And I agree.
and that's just the way the world works.
Okay, so for example, right, this music video that he recently put out
Okay,
with the game called Easy,
it's a good song.
where I didn't even want to listen to the song, right? He kidnaps and decapitates Pete Davidson, aka
Skeet. Yeah.
right? We understand your intent, right? You are going through a difficult process of a divorce of a woman that you have adored and glorified for probably decades.
Yes.
Right? But how could you not think of the impact of that video? Right? You are literally killing a person.
It's
I don't
creative.
care if it's clay animation. I don't
It's-
care, right?
it's
You know what your intent was.
Right. I get that, but it's creative expression. Like even people when they try to down like lyrics and stuff, like, oh, you should have never said that, or he's expressing himself. Some people will write in a journal. Some people will have a director and an editor put together a clay skeet and decapitate him. Like I'm not agreeing and believe that his measures are what's a good word? I've been at a loss for words like recently. I don't know why. I think it's my age.
Oh gosh.
But
I have to do a mini mental exam on you.
yeah. But I don't think it's I don't know. You can fill in the words for me.
But wait, what are you trying to say?
Like I don't feel like it's
Justified?
see, there you go. It's justified. But it's yeah, he want to express himself.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe we'll disagree. Agree to disagree.
But then so another thing that came up. So I was speaking to someone that a female that I haven't spoken to in a long time, which is kind of like part of my hotels, but not because she's dating somebody and she moved away, and then I don't know what's there going on now. She's back, but anyway, so she had mentioned that she thinks everything he's doing concerning Kim is disgusting. Like she's downright disgusted, unhappy with him.
Yes.
Doesn't want to support him in any way possible. Like she really wants to like burn all her Yeezys. And then she showed me a clip of like D.L. Hughley speaking about it, and he was just like, that's disgusting too. Like if he had a daughter and their spouse was acting the way Kanye was acting toward Kim, like there would be an issue because he's stalking her, he's harassing her,
Yes.
and all that stuff. And
then
just
today
because,
shows up in DR with the Kim lookalike.
yeah, just because he's him, everybody just turns a blind eye to it. But if it was anybody else, like they would have been like,
Charged
ranting
for
and
harassment.
yeah. So that's also an aspect where I get. But I mean, if he put it in his music and stuff, I feel it is being creative, and it's up to interpretation. And that's like the intent and the impact, because him just a lot of times in the first 2 episodes, he was trying to get his music out. He was trying to get people to understand and back him, and then people was just like not really with it. He felt resilient. He was resilient. He was determined, and those are qualities that I like.
I don't think the two need to be mutually exclusive, right? You can still be ambitious. You can still be determined, but that doesn't that realm doesn't live separately from, right, what he's doing or capable of, right? Like his current state of mind.
I feel like currently, and the road to what Kanye West or Ye is now, from Kanye West to Ye, I'm aligned with the journey. now, so him as an adult and his, what he does, I don't really like, care for. But as far as seeing his trials and tribulations, not saying he was struggling, but like coming from someone who has also felt like doors and opportunities have been closed, or different people could have helped in certain ways and didn't. Mm-hmm. I understand the frustrations that he's going through, that he went through. So then when you finally make it and you prove people wrong, I feel like at that time I'm gonna wild out too. I'm gonna like everybody who like turned their head or could have helped and didn't, or gave me a no when stuff start happening. I'm what I call it is like I'm gonna tax them.
But I also
I'm not gonna necessarily go off the rail and handle. And if somebody's having a speech, I'm gonna go up there and grab the mic and say my opinion. Like, no. But in certain instances, I see where the arrogance or the cockiness is because, like, yo, I was telling you this.
Multiple missed opportunities.
I was telling you this 8 years ago, like, yo, I'm gonna do this, and you was like, yeah, all right, yeah, go make your beat, relax.
Right. No, and I thought that like that was very dismissive of. But also,
so then when I pop my stuff, don't be like, oh my gosh, you're too confident, you're too arrogant, no, I'm the best. That's what it is. Like if I'm not the best, then tell me who's the best, so I can know what else I have to do to be the best. Like,
so in episode 3, right, he is in the Dominican Republic, and I hate when the people just say the Dominican. No, there's an entire republic after the Dominican, right?
Okay.
So he was in the Dominican Republic with these potential Caucasian male investors, right? And during this trip, you can certainly see that he's in a manic episode. And he is trying, I guess, to have a discussion about real estate investments. Mm-hmm. And just the body language, like even I through the camera, through the television, like, right. So Cootie did an excellent job, kind of. You can
and big ups to Cootie too.
Yes,
I feel you, man. Chike, not Cootie is not Chike. Chike is not Cootie. They're two different people. Drunk, yay.
Yeah, that hurt. And right, you can again that the expression and the emotion. No, but
he cleared it up though,
and he knew what his He was intentional with the mistake afterwards.
People are sensitive too.
I don't know about sensitive, but anyways. So my point is, with the real estate investors, right? He was unapologetically himself. He was raw. He was expressing himself in like what seemed like fleeting thoughts, right? It was just, he wouldn't even finish one thought before he started the next one.
Right.
And you can tell like these guys started slouching, like looking like, right? Like just not even maintaining eye contact. And that's what I'm saying. Like you can still be yourself, but if it's not well received, right? And I think that to his point, right, he wanted to make it to billionaire status, which he has, so that even if he does this type of behavior or during his manic episodes, the stuff that is unconventional,
unconventional is a good word, yes,
he will still be praised, or he will still maintain his kingdom.
When things are not the norm, they're like an outlier and perceived as bad or strange, or you get a negative connotation of like, oh, that's what you're not supposed to do, just because that's just what the average person or normally what was called, like, that's like business standards. But I don't necessarily think that different should be like, shunned upon. If he does things in his way and he wants to be raw and unapologetic, I feel like that's fine. And then there's certain people that will see that, and then there's others that it will rub them the wrong way and they don't want to deal with it, and that's fine.
This difference is hinging on his mental health.
Okay. Correct. Right? Yes.
So again, and I like this week at work, right, I had a hard time with mental health because I had, patients or students where the parents were dismissive about seeking mental health.
Okay.
And these children, this particular case, the child like needs
clearly,
it.
like it's evident.
It is like almost an emergency, right? If I would have been there 2 weeks ago, I would have had to call an ambulance.
Okay.
Right? So to me, the topic of mental health is so difficult to grasp because one thing is recognizing it, and the second thing is how to act on it.
And I think especially with mental health, is like,
and it's so stigmatized.
Right, and dealing with different people, that doesn't. If you have two people that's manic, that doesn't necessarily mean that their manic is the same. I think is it like for each person, cases like different. I mean, there's probably like similarities.
Right, there's always like
that don't mean like the approach is going to be the same for each individual that is manic or bipolar.
No, there's standards of care, right? So there's like the traditional what manic episodes look like.
Okay.
Right? They have difficulty sleeping. They're kind of just on the go. Like their thoughts of grandiosity kind of occur as well. So there's definitely characteristics that classify, oh, this is a manic episode.
Yeah, a checklist. Okay.
Versus a depressive episode. So again, the latter part is a more difficult part because unless like what happened with Kanye, his physician called and had him in a psychiatric hold, right? That's it. Like either you have to want to kill yourself and that's the only way we can admit you, and that's it. Right? There's no in between. And I think that's the difficulty from a medical professional. It's like, wow, I've recognized this person needs help. I've recognized like, you know, what their actions or the consequences of their action during these episodes, and I can't help you. And
because you're not at a certain point that requires under medical standards or whatever help. That's bad.
Right.
Because you're gonna wait till somebody reach a breaking point,
a bad breaking
to
point,
then just put them in a straitjacket rather than.
we try to. We don't try to. I mean, I don't work in psych, but
to put them in
a mental institution, mental health,
right? Yeah. Rather than trying to, I feel like the same thing like with drugs. Like if you have like someone who's taking drugs or pills per se or something like that, like people will see that they're having issues, but won't really, you know, go into effect as far as like getting them help until like they possibly had like an OD or something.
Exactly,
Whereas all the time when you see them popping pills or whatever, you was just like la 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 la, and it's like, oh snap, you almost died.
Unless it's like, let's say it's a doctor who's abusing drugs and you notice that they're under the influence while at work, then that's really where we kind of intervene, right? Because then now you're putting a patient's life in jeopardy,
risk, right?
But otherwise, like, no, you can abuse drugs and carry on, all right? And then like, I work in an area where there's the high rates of IV drug abusers, and you know, their children don't go to school. But what can I do besides call ACS?
Wow.
So I didn't mean to go that dark, guys, but
I don't think it's dark. I think it's enlightening, like having shedding light on those things where you try to be more preventative than what's the other one? Like when something happens, then reactive. So I'm more on the preventative side.
And unfortunately, our hands are tied when it comes to prevention, which is why I really chose pediatrics, because I think a lot of the emphasis is on prevention.
Right. Okay.
Versus adults. I was like, I can't stand adults. Can't stand myself. So two of the things that really stuck out to me, one was it seems like he was very
adamant about getting called crazy.
Yes.
Okay.
Triggered.
Right.
He was very
I was thinking
triggered.
the same thing too, yeah.
And that's inappropriate, right? You should not be calling anyone crazy. I think we have normalized that too much. And, you know, people are struggling with real things, and to call them crazy is kind of, to me, diminutive.
So I've gone through that in like dealing with women sometime, where like I be telling them to relax.
Oh.
And they like,
I've been working on that with my daughter.
Be like, don't tell me to relax. I'm relaxed. And I was like, first of all, you're not, because I'm very monotone and like just chill and like lax all the time. So when I tell them to relax, they be like, Don't tell me to relax.
It's the opposite of my house. My husband tells my daughter, calm down. I'm like, don't tell her to calm down. Like, tell her to relax.
Oh.
But now she tells me to relax. I'm like, I gotta find another word. It can't be relax or calm down. But
so don't say relax. Don't call people crazy.
So and don't tell them to calm down. So let us know what are
words. With some triggering words that, that get you riled up when people tell you like, yo, you're bugging. Like, no, I'm not bugging, actually. But you're.
Right.
To me, you're.
Have a seat. That's another one.
Have a seat.
Have a seat. No, I want to stand. So the second quote that really stood out to me, and it was in that first episode, and Cootie brought it in again, was the giant looks in the mirror and sees nothing. Everybody else sees the giant.
That's a great quote.
And
by Donda?
By Donda West. I don't know if it was by Donda, but
she said it.
She said it. Yeah. So I kind of, me and idioms, you're going to see, ladies and gents, that I am awful with any idioms, any language. They just go over my head, right? I'm really concrete, and abstract to me just goes over my head. So this went over my head the first time.
Really? I got it instantly.
And the third episode, it finally kind of...
It made sense. It clicked.
Sense. It sunk in, right? So, and I think that's one of the difficulties I struggle with. Right, you have these accomplishments, but you still don't feel joy, which is why I am promoting that I will be leaving medicine, right? So you can have these degrees, you can have this salary, you can have everything you wished for when you were younger, but even then, like, you look at yourself and you're still not happy.
Right. I go through that too sometimes, obviously on a smaller scale. Gosh. But I've done things in my music DJ career where I'm like, all right, that's cool. All right, next thing, like, it's not enough. And then people's like congratulating me. I'm like, oh, you made it. Oh, this is big. Oh, you're my famous friend. Or yeah, I'm like, like I don't feel that way at all. Like, I feel like there's so much more to do. There's so much I can do. There's so much I want to do. And it's an interesting dynamic, like, balancing. Oh, like looking at what you've done and be like, oh, like, snap, like, I really like did some stuff.
Yeah. And
seeing like the road ahead and like what you want to get to. So
even people tell me, like, make sure you put it on your CV. Like, there's so many things I haven't put in my CV. And I'm like, I can't.
What is your CV?
Oh, sorry. So it's a curriculum vitae. So it is.
Oh, a vitae?
Vitae.
Never heard of it.
VITAE. So essentially, it is
like a
academia, I guess.
Resume kind of?
Resume. But it's like a 30-page resume, right? That's if you're really brolic. But, right, like mine's right now is like 5-6 pages.
Okay. So just of academic accomplishments.
Right. So you can say, like, I secured a X dollar amount grant. Like, this is my research, whatever. And, right, so I do all these things, and I don't want to put it on my CV, right? Because this is just me.
As a DJ, we call it like a one sheet.
A one sheet. Is it only one sheet?
It should be, where it's like it's more of a quick glance at just like your top accomplishments, achievements that you've done, like artists you've worked with, tours you've been on, projects you've been on, stuff like that. So like,
yeah. So my point is that
you're a giant, but you don't see a giant.
People tell me I'm a giant. I don't believe I'm a giant.
Yeah, I wouldn't think I'm a giant. I'm like, what's between a giant and like a normal person or like a dwarf? I'm not at dwarf status. I'm like,
I mean, let's shy away from the dwarf status, because that is also a medical condition.
Is an ogre like in between a giant, or they're just like ugly?
Yeah, Shrek is just ugly.
Oh, but he's big. He was like big, but he wasn't giant.
No.
It's like a.
You want to say like James and the Giant Peach?
I don't know. I need to find like a medium ground between
a little person.
Giant. No. Yeah, just like a average.
A David and Goliath.
I think Goliath is giant-ish.
Right. So you could be a David. So you want to find a David?
No, I'm David now.
Okay, you're David.
Yeah. People see Goliath when they see me, but I feel David. I'm like a wolf in like sheep's clothing.
Oh.
Like there's a meme of.
But I think that's a bad thing.
I mean, it is, but I was picturing the meme.
And I don't do idioms.
I was thinking you ever seen the meme of the wolf that has like a sheet
Oh yeah, and the
covering,
eyes are just
and his
penetrating.
eyes, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So that's like the inner me
So I
is
think what you're trying to say is like you're very hungry
hungry and humble.
and humble,
Yes,
and you can do those too.
yes. Whereas other people see me as greater than, or like that I'm like, I'm really looked at in some spaces as that guy.
So it's all relative,
It is relative
Yeah.
because then I'll go in other spaces
and you
and
feel
I'll feel
like
very
a little
small.
cucaracha.
Yeah, yeah.
Scurrying to a corner.
Like in a corner, like nobody knows me. People just walk past by me, and then I'll be in other spaces, and it's like, oh, critical. Oh, teacher. Oh, yo. Like I went somewhere last night, just to pass through. Like I'm like very, like I said, mysterious. So I don't really be telling people
Your
what
moves.
yeah.
You a
I'll
real
just,
G. You move it
I'll just
silent.
pop up, yeah, moving silent like lasagna.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just popped up somewhere. One of my friends, he had this he got into this like this DJ crew that's really world renowned and known. So I just went by. He was DJing somewhere. I went by to just pay him some respects. Like, yo, congratulations. And
You were recognized.
all of the not all but some of the attention, even from him, like he was like, oh, I'm so glad you came out. Oh, you came out for me.
How nice.
Oh, thank you, Lil. It means so much. I'm like, bro, like you're the one that just you're actually
This is your event.
Yeah, it's like
I
you're
came to give you props.
word, and you're like, so that was really, I get that a lot too, where I go to DJs and stuff, or like places, and I get that type of like approach and receive those type of that energy, and I'm like, oh,
That's dope.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just out here just doing my thing.
Yes. Do your thing. So we are going to close out this episode again with so much darkness. It seems like we're just inundated in bad news.
Inundated is a good word. What does that mean?
Inundated is like you're drowning in this information. Inundated is like drowning,
Okay,
I would say.
drowning.
Right. So let's say
Like you just can't
like I'm inundated in work.
get
I
out?
have so much work to
Oh,
do.
you're like, okay, got you.
Or the media is nonstop just feeding
It's like
me.
overbearing, like it just, you can't take it, kind of like
It's just a lot to bear.
it's just a lot to bear. Got you.
Yes.
Inundated.
Inundated.
Word of the day.
So we're inundated in a lot of what's going on overseas. The invasion of the Ukraine, and COVID is still lingering. I
Is
mean,
it?
The numbers are better.
Oh, okay.
But now the
'Cause
mask
these-
mandates
yeah.
have been lifted. So us in the medical professional world, we are just like WTF.
Got
right?
you.
Like
I was thinking that too. Like I know these medical professions and stuff is pissed. Not pissed, but like they're just like shaking my head.
it's just like at this point, like
But at some
why
point,
do
it
we
had
even
to-
exist?
It
I
had to
don't know.
happen.
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
It's just too
honestly,
soon?
the solution is so complex, and I don't know what's the correct solution for
Okay, got you.
this. Especially as we have entered year 3 of this pandemic, and it's just like, bro, we know what works, and I mean, it is what it is. But anyways, I digress. So the point is, we want to end this segment right with something that will
Uplift.
multiply,
Right. Positivity.
and uplift the world that we live in today, and that is going to be called random acts of kindness. Excuse me.
Yes.
So in random acts of kindness, we are going to assign you, the listener, and
You.
ourselves.
I do it. I'm kind all the time. Sometimes I'm too kind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But you can be kind, listeners.
Yes.
and
So we
viewers.
want you to be kind as well. So we're gonna assign you a simple task of a kindness, an act of kindness.
Yeah. Mainly because Blockbuster is not around anymore, so there's no Be Kind Rewind. So
I like that.
yeah. I used to love Blockbuster.
Oh,
But
I didn't
anyway,
even know there was a slogan.
so yeah, be kind. Do a random act of kindness. And today we want you to, let's see, what's a good one? Give a random person a compliment.
Yeah, give an unexpected compliment. So on my way here today, I was leaving my building And I see this lady looking at me. I mean, you know, New York, we kind of grill you before we compliment you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we have that look, that stare that you don't even know
the
at
stare
that point
down.
which way it could go bad, it could get good. So you just like, you on edge.
Yeah. So I look back. She's kind of like looking me up and down. And she's like, you know, you look cute today, by the way. It looks very chic. Now, I don't know what about my outfit today is chic, but
Does she see you a lot? Because the today part.
okay, I made that up. I think she just said you look cute.
All right, because the day part, I'm like, yo, don't give me no backhanded
Yeah,
compliment.
no. I made that up.
What about
I embellish a
the
little bit.
the other days? I just didn't look cute.
No, guys.
And all of a sudden, today
and then
for
a
all days.
disclaimer also, anything I tell you, please take the square root of it, right? So
The square root.
if I say there were 1,000 people, take the square root of 1,000.
Okay, got you. That's
so
fair.
I will embellish all of my stories. So she didn't say today. She just said, you look cute.
Okay.
By the way.
Got you.
Or something along the lines of, you look cute. It looks very chic. And I was feeling good for like 20 minutes. And I'm like, you know what? That's going to be our random act of kindness.
Yeah, just like continue it. Just pay it forward. Like you get a good you get a compliment. Just go out and compliment somebody.
And even if you don't get a compliment, give someone an unexpected compliment.
Yeah.
And let's see how that, that makes their days a little better.
Maybe it may make you feel good too.
Yeah.
Like, I just brighten somebody's day just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Especially like she said in these times and ages where it's just a lot going on. Like
yes, the dark ages.
It's scary.
Yes. So be a beacon of light. And with that, we are closing out the 3rd episode of the Vital Check with your friendly neighborhood MD, Dr. Joe.
And me, the giant, DJ Critical.
Take care, guys and
Later.
gals. See you next time.
Peace.
Bye.